In the shadows of a past we've known, two souls lost, but we found our way home. Through the whispers of doubt we learned to stand, with a love so bright we've walked hand in hand. You cracked the walls with your laughter so free. I'm the strength in the storms, we're a symphony. With every step we rise above the pain, breaking generational chains. We're born again. We're the fire lighting up the night. Together we shine. It's our hearts in flight. With notes to self, we're writing our song. In this world of chaos, we know where we belong. Oh, we're changing lives, breaking through the fear. A power couple, together we're here. From the ashes of yesterday, we draw our strength. With courage as our armor, we'll go any length. You remind me of the light when the darkness creeps. In your eyes there's a promise, a love that deeply keeps. No more chains can bind us, we've learned to heal. In the depths of our hearts lies the power we feel. We're shining the truth, letting the world see. Together, forever, just you and me. We're the fire, lighting up the night. Together we shine, it's our hearts in flight. With notes to self, we're writing our song. In this world of chaos, we know where we belong. Oh, we're changing lives, breaking through the fear. A power couple, together we're here.
You're so bad. Hey, everybody.
Welcome, everybody.
Corey's over here making as much noise in the background as he possibly can. How is everybody? We decided we wanted to go live and just catch up with everyone because it's been a minute since we have been
Like
on.
a week or so.
Yeah, it's been a hot minute. Oh, you can tell I have been running my face off today, trying to get a sloppiest messy bun possible. Woohoo!
Yep, I just changed all the lights on the outside of the house to green for St. Patty's Day.
Oh, you did?
So, yep,
Oh, nice.
26 years of hanging out with this crazy kid. So,
I saw somebody ask the name of that song, and our daughter actually created that song for us through AI, so that we didn't have any copyright or anything like that. So she sent it to us one day, and she was just like, "Hey, Mom, Dad, she has the AI program that lets you write music, and so she wrote it for us and
put in all of her
thoughts about us, and then it created that song. And so yeah, we both
kicked our butts.
Had a good little cry the
she's a
first time we
sweetheart.
heard it. We're like, whatever.
Corey, louder, please. Yeah, I gotta get noisy over here.
How is holding out help? So yeah, we wanted to talk about that. So holding out help was probably one of the scariest things I've done for a really long time. But I think like there's the scariness that goes like, it's just this intense fear, like fight or flight. And then it's over and it's like, okay, now what? Now what's next? Like, where's my next scary thing that I'm going to start doing? So got to think of something different. Got to do something. But it was great. Yeah. Oh, Amanda Ray was at Holding Out Hope. I don't know if I got a picture with her, but we talked to her about coming on our channel. What's funny too is Christine Brown was there and she was like, McKelty told me that she did your guys' channel and why haven't you asked me yet? So I'm like, I don't know. I guess I just haven't. Oh, like honestly, Mary was a sweetheart and she was the one who really pushed for us to do that. I've got to get more like secure and just asking people. I just don't ever want to take advantage of people. So I told her that, but Christine's like, don't be silly. Give me your phone number. So we swapped phone numbers and hopefully she will be there. I made the cover photo of this live, a picture of all of us. And for some reason it didn't upload. So we, I'll update that on the live because there's a picture a bunch of us got together. One of the girls who created Escaping Polygamy, she was there and she's in our photo. And then Sam and Melissa from Growing Up in Polygamy were in the photo. And then Tanya Toole, the owner of Holding Out Help, the founder, and her and her husband were there. And John DeLynn of Mormon Stories was there. So John, like we already applied, love to be on Mormon Stories. Yeah, it was my stupid dry mouth is just, that's probably the worst thing that I've had to deal with. And it's just, the more I'm coming to realize it is a trauma response and I hate it about myself. It's really frustrating. Let's see. Where in the world are you? We're in good old Utah. It's 4 p.m. Yep. It's Mountain Standard Time, 4 p.m. Yeah. Amanda is in Utah right now. She did give me her phone number. I haven't reached out to her yet to schedule because we do already have we're kind of booked out or lined up for the next couple of weeks, but I need to.
Who's Amanda?
She's from the Kingstons. Remember, I don't know if you came and said hi to her, but Emily and I did. Emily and my mom and I did.
Yes, I do remember.
Yeah, because my sister Emily was there. My mom was there. There was a lot of people there that I haven't seen in a long time. So it was scary. I feel like I didn't do as good as I wished I would have done. I wish I would have, I don't know how much money they raised yet. But I feel like it's such an important cause that I was just like, I think that was where my nerves were coming from. Cause I feel like I've told my story already. That's not it. It's just, I really wanted to do a really good job for them because it's such an important cause. So, we do have another.
She did great. She just is more critical of herself. So,
yeah,
I really enjoyed it. I enjoyed supporting her from sitting down in the audience. That was amazing for me. So,
yeah. Yeah, Amanda's mom, older sister is the first wife and her dad's half sister is his third wife. Oh, geez. Yeah. Amanda was there with her aunts, a couple of her aunts. There was just a lot of people there. But Christine was beautiful. She was just as sweet as she could be. And she's just like, you need to stop and just call me and let's schedule something. And we don't live that far from each other. So maybe we'll do an in studio. I mean, we only live maybe 15 minutes from each other. So it's not like we live that far. But what?
Is that Amanda?
Amanda, no, Christine.
Oh, yeah.
Christine lives about 15 minutes from us.
Okay, yeah.
But yeah, there is a new organization that we are going to start linking in all of our show notes called Just Protect. And they actually work hand in hand with Holding Out Help, but it's from the attorneys who do all of the cases pro bono, but there are some litigation costs that they cannot cover. And so we are going to start tagging them. So for anyone who wants to donate to them, they're amazing. Because there are some litigations. If you have to do depositions, that costs a court recorder. If you serve anybody paper, you have to pay the constable. So there are expenses outside of just the attorneys can't, they do all their work for free for pro bono, but there are outside expenses that they just can't get out. So we're going to start tagging them in every single one of our videos. A lot of you have asked how you can donate to help my mom out. That is one way that you can. If you want to, you can just tag it. I think you can just tag it to have it go to her specifically, but I can't remember.
Is that Rogers?
Yeah. I don't know if he has his name out loud. I don't know.
Oh, okay.
But yeah, he is the attorney that has been, he's the main cheese over there. So, and so I did
Hi,
add
sister.
the link into our, the link is in every one of our show notes from now on. We just have it going to be defaulted there. But yeah, it was really fun. It was really, they had like a day in the life of polygamists, like what are the women's clothing that they wore. And so I actually had a picture of my wedding, or I actually had my wedding dress there. My wedding dress that came all the way up to my neck, all the way down to my sleeves, all the way down to the floor. And I was telling him I actually got chastised for having this dress because there was a little bit too much lace on it. And it wasn't supposed to be that fancy for the temple, but it was. So we had one main guest speaker. My sister Emily was highlighted they do a video every year of cases that they've helped. And my sister Emily was highlighted in that. And then they had the one main speaker, and she gets me every time because she's 31 years old and she's the same age as my daughter is, the one that I left the AUB over. So the first night when we were doing our practice round on Thursday, she got up and told her story, and I ugly cried. Like I could not pull myself back together. I'm standing up on stage because then I have to get back up and reintroduce the next section of it. And I'm over here like a bumbling mess because I'm just so proud of her. It's not even her sad story. It's how she triumphed through everything that she had, and how she is now a college graduate on the dean's list, with high honors and she's got her bachelor's, and she's amazing. She's 31 years old with 6 children, came out of polygamy with no education. And so, yeah, it was incredible. And so that's the part that always gets me, is when you hear of these, what feels like impossible cases, and somehow they make it work and they find their way through it.
Well, also very thankful that we chose to get out, or we were encouraged to leave in my case, so that I was able to raise my children, so that our 31-year-old wasn't coming out of polygamy at that age, and wasn't leaving with 6 kids. I am so thankful that my children have had different choices because of encouragement from the leadership, which I appreciate. Again, I can say thank you to the leadership for excommunicating me and encouraging me to try a different way than the way that they trained me from birth to 18. So I appreciate you guys, without your even knowing, encouraging me to get out into the world and living a different life. So thank you.
Yeah, it was incredible. And she has some huge opportunities coming up in her life. And so then I wrote myself these like little 3x5 cards, right? And on the one 3x5 card, it says, "Do not cry," at the end of her speech. And of course I can't even follow my own instructions. And I got up there in front of everybody, and I didn't ugly cry, but
say not ugly cry, right?
Yeah. And just do not ugly cry. Like, just get up there and tell her how proud you are of her, because she's 31 with 6 children and on the dean's list, and she's got some incredible opportunities coming her way now. And I'm just so proud of her. And that could have been my daughter had I decided to stay. And I'm so grateful that I didn't. So yeah, it's just, I'm just so proud of so many different stories. So hopefully we raised a good amount of money. There was a lot of people there. There's another organization called Hope After Polygamy, and her and I are going to be doing some stuff together. What she does is she creates educational opportunities for people who have come out of polygamy, who might not have been able to go to school. So she does scholarships. She's given out over $100,000 worth of scholarships already. So we're going to be doing some stuff with that. The group that girl came from is the Kingstons. So she came out of the Kingston group, and she's just, I just love to hear the stories of the triumph. Like, everybody has trauma. everyone has trauma, but I love to hear when people pick themselves up by the bootstraps, put on their big girl panties, and they just make it happen because they have 6 children. You just got to show up for those kids.
Yep.
So would you twitched like when I said big girl panties? What were you looking at?
No.
Oh, yeah.
I was just reading. Thank you, Scarlett Seraphim.
Oh, Scarlett Seraphim.
Yeah, thank you. That's she's like, please subscribe and hype us.
Oh,
so
love you.
these
Thank you.
wonderful people. So thank you guys. I appreciate that. And Mel, your mom raised some regular, strong women.
Oh, thank you.
I am proud of you and Emily for speaking out about polygamy. You two are amazing.
Yeah, it was it's funny because I only found out about holding out help like 3 years ago. And somebody sponsored a ticket for me to go to one of their galas. And this is the 3rd gala that I've been to. And it was incredible. And I was like, who would have even known that 3 years ago here, I would have gone to this and then within 2 years been hosting it. Like that's crazy. That just feels like crazy town.
Yeah, this is the second one I've gone to. I've never, you heard about it and more in the community than I was. So
yeah. Hope After Polygamy was founded by my friend's cousin. Yeah, she's incredible. So we're going to be doing some stuff with her, with Lou. Her name is Luann Cooper, and she, I loved it too because what felt weird is like she came to find me, and I don't know. That's what feels weird to me is it's like, I don't know. I'm just this little girl who decided to start a YouTube channel and just start talking about it, and to have people like search us out that want to do stuff with us is just crazy. It feels crazy to me. So, so Corey's sister, what?
Next week? Yeah.
What is?
She just said, can't wait to see
There's
you.
a journal. Oh, your sister?
Mm-hmm.
Yeah. So Corey's sister will be here next weekend. So maybe we'll have to do a quick little live with her if she's got time. I don't know if she will or not. So Katie's going to be here. Did you know there is a journal or Mormon polygamy that is having a conference soon? I think it's this weekend. Yeah, we did. We watched John Dehlin live all day yesterday. And that's why we didn't go live yesterday, is because we were watching John Dehlin and they were talking about that. The battle, whatever, between Michelle Stone and I think her name was Jenna or something like that. The first part of John Dehlin's live. Oh my gosh, it's not like we didn't watch it all day yesterday. Did you forget already?
Yeah.
So
very proud of her. So
thanks.
Very proud. I was so thankful that I got to sit and encourage her. She does this a lot for me of like, oh, you're going to do so well. You're getting out there and doing some public speaking or marrying our children. And I'm going to be such a support. Love you so much. You're going to be doing so well. And so, yeah, I got to step up and be that supportive husband and sit.
He was mocking me so hard
in the audience. It was amazing.
I don't feel like he was very supportive. He was like, haha, I'm going to record her as she sweats bullets. Mostly, honestly, it's not even that I'm scared. Again, not scared to tell the story. It's just when the cause feels so important, I feel like I just want to do such a good job for them. So that was where most of my nerves were coming from.
And I thought you did amazing. It's the same thing that there were things that I missed when I was doing it that you were like, no, you did an amazing job. But we want to show up in our very best light to support that cause. And so I can see why we judge ourselves, but from my position, from my point of view, I thought you did amazing.
Thanks.
So it was a great thing. There was a lot of emotion, and I'm sorry, from everybody there. And so that emotion transfers over, and people do want to help people who are working to better themselves. So
and the people, so it was hosted at a church, a Christian church, and everyone there was just so kind, and they were just so, which is really unusual because when you come from such a transactional world, and like polygamy is very transactional, it's weird to see people just be kind just to be kind. It's like, what do you want from me? And so I had such a deep appreciation for everyone there who was so kind and just, what can I do for you? How can I help you? But yeah, yes, we did see Christine. She was amazing and beautiful. I thought I posted a picture, but it didn't stick to the live. So I'll repost it again. But, she was just amazing and asked me why I hadn't had her on our show yet. So she'll be coming on our show, I'm sure soon. We just got to set that up with her. But she's just a sweetheart. So, and her and my mom have always been really close.
That was something that it was an aha from over the weekend, because what is her name that hosts this?
Tanya.
She was basically saying that one of the things that she's realized from as people are coming out of the communities is they have a lack of trust. And I would agree with her 100%.
You have to question everything because you feel so duped.
That's right. We are told to mistrust the outside world. We are trained from birth to mistrust, assume that everybody is silver-tongued and turned over to the buffetings of Satan.
Yeah.
So what is it that you want from us? So there is a level of mistrust. And so when somebody's coming in just out of the kindness of their heart, trying to help somebody out, guide them, it takes a little bit for people coming out of these high demand societies to actually trust that, hey, you just want to point us in the right direction.
Yeah,
we
just want to help.
The best from you. And that's something that we are told growing up that doesn't exist. And so
right.
It does. It takes that kindness, that over and over kindness, before we start to realize there are such good people out there, and become aware of how many good people are out there.
Right.
And appreciate and love all of you guys that just out of the kindness of your heart are helping each other. It's the kindness of humanity that this community says that they're the ones that have the monopoly on kindness, but they're really not kind. We're used to people having an agenda, the reason that they're
so transactional,
kind to us. And then we get out inside the real world and almost all of a sudden go, wow, there are so many people that it's not that. It's actually genuine human beings loving each other. So it was a wake-up call.
That's what I love. I love that. Yeah. Because we met the county sheriff from North Dakota that has been dealing with all of, there's so many different people that have moved into the North and South Dakota area. And one of the county sheriffs was there too. And he told his story about how him and his wife actually welcomed 10 girls into their home, into their personal home. And so some of these stories were just beautiful, and they're just full of, and that's the one that gets me. Those are the ones that get me, are these triumphant stories of people who overcome what feels like the impossible. And then they just get out there and they just do it because that's all they have. Like, they don't have anything more than that. And so when our keynote speakers mentioned, talks about that, and then the sheriff comes in and he's like, took me 4 years to build a relationship with these people. And once I did, 10 girls, and he showed pictures of the girls who'd come to live with them. And humans are beautiful. They really are. And I feel like we see so many, we see so many of the tragedies that we often miss celebrating some of the beautifulness. So and so that's what I think I appreciated about that the most. I wanted to get to this comment really quick. Kathleen Crocker says, shaved off all my hair for cancer. We hope you are doing okay now. Wasn't shaving the hair that was nervous about doing it. It was doing it on stage. Yeah. Well, we hope that you are healthy and doing better now. But it's the doing it in front of people. It's incredible. It was
sending healing vibes.
Yeah.
So
it was a beautiful experience. I'm so grateful that we got to do it. It's definitely, we connected with a ton of people. Sam and Melissa were there from growing up in polygamy, which we absolutely love. Somebody saw the picture that I had originally posted, which again, I will post it here again. And somebody's like, oh my gosh, if Corey and Mel are 6'2", then how tall is Sam? He's 6'4". So Sam is very tall. He's 6'4". And then you see Corey and I at 6'2". Yeah, there's a tall bunch of us. And then my mom was 6 feet, but she has had some scoliosis issues. And so I think she's like 5'8" now or something like that. So she's very short. But yeah, it was a beautiful, beautiful experience. It's like I didn't want the night to be over, but then when it was over, it was like, I hadn't slept in 2 nights. I hadn't eaten anything for a couple of days because I was so nervous. But yeah.
It's the anxiety building up to it. And then after you're done, you're just like, okay, now I can rest. I have finished it.
Yeah. And honestly, on Saturday, I just felt like I was in like, I don't know, just blah mode all day. We didn't even do anything on Saturday, I don't think, did we? I don't even remember if we did.
Just some. I did a little bit of.
We just some it's funny because our son comes upstairs and he goes, who threw up polygamy clothes all over our basement? Yeah. And so, because in our basement, we have this storage area that we've kind of built a little makeshift wall around so that doesn't get in, the little kids don't get into it. And so Corey had to like remove the sheetrock and to pull out all
of all these old clothes,
all my old temple clothes, my old,
you growing up.
Yeah. I found an activities permit card that I had from the AUB. Yeah, all that kind of stuff. But as we were going through the clothes to find some stuff to take to the event that they wanted us to bring, I ended up just putting stuff all over the couch in our big living room area downstairs. And our son was like, what in the hell? And I honestly thought I was stylish back then, but clearly I wasn't, because they're pretty sad clothes. But yeah, they did a day in the life of an AUB all red person, Kingston, and FLDS. And so they got to use my pictures, and I will post some of those too.
And I have no clothes from my youth. So first of all, I wouldn't fit into them. But second of all, as soon as I could start buying my own clothes, I was purchasing my own Levi's, which were a no-no growing up. And
you had to wear corduroy. Yeah.
Yep. And then t-shirts, short sleeve t-shirts. And so, all of my long sleeved clothes are really gone. So.
I know 5'8" is short. My 5'1" is laughing my butt off. I know in our family it is. However, our babies come out 5'1", like they're just born at 5 feet 1 inch. And so it's like, most of our kids are extremely, our son is almost 6'10" and our other son's 6'9". And so we do have, we raise them big here. Apparently we feed them well too. Let's see. Catherine Perry, thank you for that. What? Thank you for that super chat. It says, tuned in late. Did your mom get to go? Yeah, she did. So I don't know why the picture that I posted did not stick, but it's a picture. Actually, that's not the picture of my mom. I have a picture of Christine and David and Corey and my mom and Emily. So I'll post a couple of pictures from it. If you follow us on Instagram, you would see I've posted some of them on Instagram already. So if you want the link to our Instagram, they're always in our show notes. You can go collect it. So we try to do a little bit more updated. So as we were heading to the event, we did a little story on Instagram. And then as we were, I think after the event was over, we did one on our way home. I can't remember. And then I've already posted a couple photos to Instagram, which have already been picked up by, I love, everyone likes to come to our channel and like steal our content and then go make money off of us. We see it all the time. So a couple people have already taken a few of the photos and redistributed them amongst, but I wanted to address there is a creator out there, without going into too much detail. We haven't talked about this, and they made a video on our video with Mary, and they created a video that has well over 100,000 views. And that video is 90% false. It is not accurate. I did not say 90% of the things that this creator claimed I said, which I did not say. And, but of course this creator won't post any of our videos on it because I copy struck their video when they copy struck a video that when I originally came on social media, I would not give them an interview, and they've been very upset about that. So they like to slander me online and talk crap about me and tell me that they don't know how much they trust my opinion about stuff, which is fine. But I just thought that was interesting. People like to come and watch our lives. They like to come watch our videos, and then they take little snippets of it and they go recreate their own video and make money off of it, which fine, do whatever you need to do. But if you're going to do that, at least get it correct. And so 90% of the things that was said in this video, I did not say. And I did not even slightly proclaim that that's what happened. So you what?
Well, and if I remember correctly, I mean, shit, they basically did this a lot. That's why you didn't want to interview with them anyhow.
Yep.
Because you could say the sky is blue, and they're
like Melanie claimed the sky was purple.
Pink this morning. So
it was just so not true.
Something else.
And so this creator is full of crap. They're full of like whatever, and then they want to get on there and say, well, I don't know if I trust Melanie and her family, because my family will no longer associate or give this person any sort of information or any sort of, whatever. So I love these creators that have like the inside scoop of things. It just cracks me up. So, but I'm sure people say that about us too, because again, when you're in the AUB, like we did not even know each other until we left the AUB. A lot of people do not know each other. They don't. The AUB is just too big. And there's you got Montana, and you've got Utah, and you've got middle Utah, and you've got end of Utah, and you've got like all of the, and we're all raised in a different experience. So what is it? Oh yeah. Well, definitely you guys are not dumb. You know who I'm talking about. But I just think it's ridiculous, because some of the things that there was assumptions made in this video about a particular bus trip that happened that was not a youth activity bus trip. But in this video, this creator claimed that I said that the youth went to Wyoming on a bus trip, and Robin was probably on. I mean, there's so much speculation. It is ridiculous. And it's like Robin probably was on this youth trip and probably met Cody when she was 12 and probably already. Dude, I didn't even know Robin. I had no idea who Robin was till the very first episode of Sister Wives. That's when Corey's like, watched that episode. Corey goes, family is so. And I was like, why? Do you know her? And so Corey's like, yeah, I know who she is. But that bus trip happened to be my father taking all of his own children and family to the ranch. That was not a youth activity. Robin Brown was not a part of that. Robin Sullivan was not a part of that. I didn't even know who she was. So this video that now has over 100,000 views on it is 90% full of shit and absolute made up crap so that this person can make money. So there you go.
Yeah, do your math. She's probably getting knocked up by her first husband around this time.
Robin. Well, I would have been because it was like the weekend after I turned 17, because I had just gotten married the weekend before. And so Robin, I'm 4 years older than Robin. So she would have been 13. Yeah, she would have been 12 or 13 at the time. Oh, yeah, but no, it was 100%. My dad took his own. So my dad, bless that old man's heart, used to take his children on the most, like, we had some land in central Utah, and he would take us camping there every summer in a cattle truck, because there was not enough. He didn't want to drive that many vehicles down there, and there was not enough room in one vehicle for all of us. So he literally loaded his children into a freaking cattle truck and hauled us to central Utah a couple of times for these camping trips. Well, my dad decided, let's get an old school bus, or I don't even remember. I've got pictures of it over here. And he loaded his entire family up. And I fortunately did not go on this trip, but my sisters bitched about it forever. And he had like a bucket for the bathroom with like I don't know. Now she's going to make some money off of this, and she's going to be like, oh, Melanie's dad made them poop in front of each other. But she's just comical to me at this point. I just think she's so full of shit. But anyways, yeah. So my dad took his family up there. It was not a youth trip. It was not a youth activity. Robin Sullivan was not a part of this trip. Again, I don't know that she ever met Cody before they were older. I have no idea.
Mhm.
I mean, but it's a good way to get some clickbait and make some money. Good job on you, kid.
Yeah.
Let's see.
Well, and I think you're sitting there saying, I feel like that was an 80s thing. I mean, yeah. Cattle truck is a good child mover. I don't know what you're talking about.
These old broken
They
that
called it cattle truck or, yeah.
that stupid bus broke down a dozen freaking times on that drive to Wyoming. My sisters were so pissed off. My sister, who's 4 months older than me, she had come down to visit for the summer because I was getting married, and she lives in Montana, and she had come down to visit and come to my wedding. And then they went on this road trip with my dad. She was so pissed because, my dad did the stupidest shit with his kids.
So the thing that I'm noticing is, especially I noticed within the beginning couple episode or seasons of Sister Wives, all of their vehicles were breaking down or had
Nobody ever
issues.
has reliable vehicles in this religion.
Well, there's very few actual mechanics, I guess, is what I would say, or where they'd keep up on the maintenance. Usually it was a lot of hand-me-down vehicles
right.
pieced together. I mean, I had two brothers that were kind of mechanics, but yeah, something would break down and then we'd get in and fix it or scavenge parts from other vehicles to do it. So you were always prepared to fix a vehicle on the road, usually with my brothers. So
Yeah.
they have a lot of pieced together vehicles that get them around. It's cheaper than going and buying new ones. So
Yeah. And it's like there's always a mechanic or two that live this way, because no one can ever buy reliable, safe vehicles for their families.
Yeah.
Like, I don't know if there's like a polygamy rule or law. Do not provide safe transportation for the people that you love the most, but none of them ever seem to.
Yeah.
Oh,
Well, I noticed in the community we had up there was a lot of junk vehicles that were pieced together. We had a junkyard where all these old vehicles were stored, and then you would go down and help
yeah.
get the parts to piece
Scavenge.
together. Yeah.
Salvage what you could to put a
To
car
keep-
together for your family.
Keep the cars running
Yeah.
around there. And not all of them were street worthy. You didn't take a lot of them down into the community, but to get around or to move things around the community.
Yeah. So this bus that did this trip there, I do have photos. One of my other mothers recently passed, and I was able, somehow I got all of her photo albums. The pictures of Robin that I have with her family. Robin's like 3 years old, and she's probably 3, maybe 4, and her little sister is in there, and her 2 mothers and her father. I do not have pictures of Robin at the compound or the farm or whatever you want to call it in Wyoming. I do not have those, nor did I ever profess or claim to have those. I do have photos, however, of Cody and Mary and my dad and Wynn on this trip, because my dad loaded all of his children into a stupid school bus that was very unsafe and very unreliable, and hauled them on a 24, I think it took them like 16 hours to get there because the damn thing kept breaking down. And oh my gosh, and my ex-husband and I did end up going to the ranch, but we got married first and we went on our honeymoon, and then I was not going to go. And my dad, he pleaded with me to please come because he wanted his entire family up there during this time. And so, my ex-husband and I ended up driving up there and going on this stupid trip. But again, it is very possible for people in the AUB to not know each other. It is very possible. Again, Corey and I did not know each other until after we got divorced, or till after we left the AUB, till I got divorced. Oh, that's true too. But yeah. So it's just ridiculous. I think it's funny that this one particular creator likes to slander me online and be like, I don't know how much I trust the judgment of her and her family. She doesn't She doesn't go out there and say she's anti-polygamy. I'm like, really? Says the person who says that they're an advocate for victims? Bullshit. There.
Well, I'll just
Shouldn't let me
reiterate
go
for
off
her.
on tangents like that.
We are anti-polygamy. I've never lived polygamy, so
Yeah.
And I don't endorse it, and I don't think it's a healthy way to live. And I myself wouldn't live it, and I try to point out why I wouldn't live it.
Right.
And
right.
Yeah, I think we've reiterated.
So I'll just publicly say, I don't know if I trust that person's opinion, because their sources tend to get things wrong quite frequently. And I mean, I don't know if that person should probably go get a hearing test or something, or even like closed captioning. You might want to put up closed captioning so you can read what was actually said, so that you're not turning around and clickbaiting and flashy headlines and basically straight up lying to your audience. So yeah.
Thanks, Rod.
Yeah. No wonder your first marriage to Corey didn't work out until you waited. If you waited until the divorce to get to know him.
Mm-hmm.
It's true. We did not. I mean, Corey dated my ex-husband's little sister for a while, and I saw him once, but I didn't know who he was, and I didn't pay attention to him. He was a skinny little kid that like did not hit my radar in any way, shape, or form. And it wasn't. I mean, he was at my first wedding to my first husband, and never would have ever even known that if I hadn't gone back and watched the video. I would never have even had a clue that you were there.
And honestly, I was clueless too.
Yeah.
So I was just bringing, it wasn't a good experience for me. I just drove her down here because her older brother was getting married, had no clue who you were.
Yeah.
And then dropped her off. And I guess I was in your video. And then I turned around and drove back home. So 8-hour drive. I was such a naive human being back then.
Yeah. So no, it is very, very possible for people not to know each other in the AUB. Again, I never knew who Robin was until episode whatever that she showed up on Sister Wives. And then I was like, who is that? It's very possible for her to have come to a dance. This is what happens a lot in the AUB is you've got people from you've got people from St. George, you've got people from all over, and the AUB will have dances and they'll come to the dances. And that's how the kids get to know each other, or how the potential husbands get to know second wives, stuff like that. So that's how people can kind of get to know each other. You might see somebody at a dance and be like, oh, who is that? And you might not meet them again for another couple of months. You might not meet them for, you might have to go, and you have to like be discreet about how you ask about it, especially if you are asking about a married man. You have to be kind of discreet about it. So it's not like you just go there and it is definitely a way for people to meet each other. So I don't doubt the story that Robin and Cody have said that they met at a dance. I don't doubt that at all. But again, I did not know who she was. I didn't care who she was either. So, but anyways, did cousin marriages take place in the AUB? Yeah, I know quite a few of them. So
yeah, when you don't have to change your last name, either of the marrying people, they don't change their last name. So
yeah. When you don't have to change your last name because you got married, that can be a problem. And that does happen quite a bit. What type of music do they play at the AUB dances? A lot of it was ballroom dances. A lot of it was
Virginia Reel.
Yes.
A whole bunch of old timey music, barnyard dancing things. Up in Pinesdale, they even got permission to play a little bit of country music.
I know you guys got naughty music, and you said that we had naughty music, or naughty like because we wear makeup, but you guys got like music that I was like, why can't we have this music in Utah? So
classical music, a lot of classical music. Circle dances. Yeah, I don't even know what they are. Just old time. You guys had what was called the Rosie dance, where he did play a lot of classical music. So you'd do foxtrots or ballroom dancing and things like that. And they would go through where a lot of people knew the dances, but there was sometimes when you could come to get to know people your age and learn how to do the dances if you weren't aware of them within the community.
And that was kind of always the fun way to get to know new people too.
Yeah.
Is it's like, oh, I don't know this dance. You seem like you know it really well. You teach me. And so, dances were a way that people could get to know. And in the AUB, it felt like, and Rosa and Katie are on here too. Maybe they can confirm. There was a lot of dances where you would switch partners.
Yeah.
And that was how you got to know a married man,
Mhm.
or a married man got to know a single girl. I want to answer this
Can
one.
we start out with their wife? Wife or so, and then
I was wondering if the AUB had any affiliation with Ross LeBaron's Jr. and his purity doctrine. I believe he married some of his own daughters. No, not that I'm familiar with. I actually have not heard the name Ross LeBaron, but the prophet previous to my father, Lynn Thompson, has proclaimed that the world would be so decimated at one point that fathers would have to lay with their daughters in order to repopulate the world. So he did have that belief, and he did express that belief. I don't know if he openly expressed it in church or if it was just to some of his family members, but that has come back to us several times. So
yeah, I don't. Growing up in the community we grew up in, I didn't. LeBaron, if you came up and said, well, hey, do you know this LeBaron? The only LeBaron we really knew was the LeBaron group, Ervil LeBaron's family that had Rulin assassinated. So there wasn't a lot of LeBarons growing up in the community I grew up in. There was actually zero that I knew of. That was a not a welcome name within our community. If a LeBaron was in the community, we'd be like, what's going on here? So
let's see. I wanted to was there a dress code for dances? Yes, it had to be it depended on the type of dance too. Quite often, like every September, we did a conference dance, and those were ballroom, those were fancy dances where you could come in like old Victorian type ballroom dances if you wanted to.
But we had to have shirts done up, long sleeve shirts.
And then somebody said, did you have to wear your
tie?
Did you have to wear your garments at the dances? You had to wear your garments all the time, 24/7.
Yeah,
some people,
if you had them. If you didn't, then you had to do it. So I had some brothers that showed up to one of the dances with T-shirts on, and
they would have been kicked out.
They were asked to leave.
Yeah,
so
they'll be kicked out now.
Yeah, they were said, "Hey, go back home, get in some appropriate clothing." So
So and there used to be a lot of independent come to these dances and stuff. Like
Rosa said, there were some LeBarons married. To the I didn't.
Yeah, married to Owen. I was just gonna say, there were some LeBarons married to Owen. So Christine's grandmother. So Christine's mom's mom, she was a LeBaron. I believe she was a LeBaron, and she was married to Owen too. But no, he had some LeBaron wives. I do remember that.
Yeah, I grew up in a very isolated community, so I don't remember any LeBarons that I knew of growing up. So.
So and then a lot of Barlows, a lot of Dargers, a lot of big, huge family, independent names like that they no longer allow to attend because they were coming in and marrying their girls and taking them away. Is making my eggs drop a regular saying in the AUB? It's so gross. Absolutely not. That is Robin makes up the dumbest shit on this show. I swear she does. And then she pops off, and then everyone's like, I had never heard that saying until she said it. And have you heard it?
No, not in some sort, not the way she said it. It was more derogatory.
Yeah.
So it was considered derogatory doing it. She said it more along the lines of, no, that's a man doing that should make a woman want to get pregnant type thing, or have her.
That was horrible when and the way she said it was just gross. And and she's like, I'm sorry, I'm just going to say it. It just makes her, I'm like, no, sweetheart, no, that doesn't. That's called lusting. That's no. No,
Yeah,
it was gross and disgusting.
we were taught that it meant more of a derogatory term when we were growing up. So AUB recipes that you guys still cook to this day? Yes, we
Yeah.
do.
Is there AUB recipes that we still cook to this day?
I
Yeah.
don't know if they're AUB. They're definitely my family's recipes.
Casseroles, tons of
Yeah.
casseroles.
I do.
I swear it's starting to become spring outside because my nose is itching like a mofo lately. Apologize.
Tater tot casserole is one that we grew up with a lot that I still cook. Sloppy Joes.
I mean, these are not, again, not specific to the AUB. They're just
something that our family used.
One of my favorites growing up is when Miracle Whip or salad dressing had just kind of hit the market. And my grandma would make homemade bread, and we'd go pick tomatoes out of the garden, and we would make tomato sandwiches with salad dressing or just salad dressing on a piece of homemade bread. We would eat that at my grandma's house a lot. My grandma, who was as Jessup as you could possibly get. She wasn't my biological grandma. She's the same grandma that I share with Mitch, married to Aspen. She's the same grandma there. We would go out to her house and we'd pick tomatoes out of her garden.
Shepherd's pie. My brothers love shepherd's pie. I'm not too fond of that. Yeah. My dad used to make up fish,
sardine or
deep fried beer battered fish, which were so good.
Because you guys were rich.
Well, no, because he would go deep sea fishing a lot. So he had friends that had boats, and so we'd go over and deep sea fish with him growing up. And so we'd have freezers full of deep sea fishing. So
it's funny though, because our kids will come home and they'll be like, "Oh, I love it when mom and dad make plig food." I'm like, this is not plig food. Like, this is Utah food. Like, everybody, because your families get so huge. Like, casseroles are obviously a huge thing here in Utah because there's just so many of us.
My mom used to make us growing up sauerkraut, and of course I don't make it, but I do like the brats and sauerkraut.
Yeah.
It's from our German heritage, I guess. So my dad used to make kamikaze stew also. That was delicious. So make a version of that.
Yeah. Tater tot casserole is probably the number one thing. My brother was being such a dick not too long ago, and I had made a comment online about one of my other siblings said, Melanie's the best cook that we have. And he was like, whatever, she just knows how to make plig food. That's it. And I'm like, yeah, but I make it really good. And he was like, whatever. Tater tot casserole doesn't count. He's like, you got to learn how to make fish and all sort, anyways, he's just kind of being, because his mom left my dad when we were really little. So he was not raised in polygamy. He was raised, and his mom is a fantastic cook. And so she would make anything that was outside of, plig food, but it was great. So he got taught how to make, and of course we never had fish or anything like that because we were poor. So we did not get that. We got fresh tomatoes out of grandma's garden when we were at her house. Yep. Let's see. Sounds like food I grew up on. Did you guys make your own soaps and shampoo? I'm just from a big family. Sometimes I think we did. We did a lot of canning and a lot of bottling. It depended too. I feel like it depends on the family and it depends on the season of life. Like, oh, hey, somebody in the polygamous group came across all of this extra supplies. What are we going to do with it? Oh, let's get a whole bunch of people together and let's create a big batches of soap, or let's create a big batch. And so I think it just depended on if somebody came across an ample supply of a different item, and then the community would kind of get together to say, what do we need to do with this item so that it doesn't go to waste, and use the resources of the people in the community.
Well, we had a community store growing up where you would produce, our family produced eggs, turkeys, chickens, alfalfa, potatoes. Our farm produced so much stuff. And then we would go and basically tell the bishop what we'd produce that year, and he would give the to the store. So somebody could
Mhm.
go up and buy a 5-pound bag of potatoes from the voucher and then come down to our house and we'd fill up their 5-pound bag. And so, but the store had all sorts of stuff. So people within the community
Yeah.
make soap. We had trade work with the dairy. So we would get milk delivered to our house, cheese, butter, all of that stuff. So it was a bartering system where the whole community tried to make itself self-sufficient, and people would barter and trade and get vouchers for different
Right.
items. So
Right.
yeah, we had access to soap that was in big 5-gallon buckets for washing your clothes with, things like
Yeah.
that. So
People want to know what
bars of soap.
kamikaze soup is.
Kamikaze soup.
Stew
It was just a stew with mushrooms. And
that you ate and hoped you didn't die.
well, and my dad's first wife didn't trust. We would go and collect the mushrooms from out in the wild.
Out in the mountains of Montana.
Yeah. Montana had a lot of wild mushrooms. And so she was like, nope, you need to buy mushrooms from the store. And my dad was like, nope, they're good. They grow outside. So let's make it. And she's like, it could be poisonous or hallucinogenic. And he's like, well, eat it at your own risk. So he called it kamikaze stew.
Yep.
Because you're eating it at your own risk. You could either die from it, get some sort of revelation from God from it, or survive and enjoy yourself.
You have no idea.
We didn't know. It was a risk.
Yeah.
Eating which mushrooms you're going to be eating.
And that's actually pretty scary to do that, to feed that to your whole family.
Yeah. Yeah. So
that's like
the wives would try it
not
first.
fairly. Like my dad puts his whole family in rickety old buses and cattle trucks, and yours feeds them dangerous mushrooms. Like, yeah, that's just what you do, I guess.
Hallucinogenic mushrooms. Yeah, it was awesome.
Rosa says she feels like the Montana order was more functional that way than most. Like Cedar City tried to on occasion, but wasn't super organized or functional.
Yeah, at the beginning, ours was definitely a high functioning. That's what I tell us growing up. We had a lot of access to homegrown food, things like that. We didn't eat a lot of processed stuff from stores.
Right.
So
we
ate probably the best, healthiest food I ever ate in my life was the food that we were growing up. There were sometimes we wanted more. I mean, we were growing boys. We could have had a little bit more food, but yeah, we did have a high homegrown diet. We grew our own food, cheese, butter, milk, all of that stuff.
One day I'm gonna get brave enough to post that picture of you flexing with your, but he doesn't have a shirt on and he looks so amazing, but he was probably like what, 22 or 23, and he was huge and buff. And
we worked all the time, so we were working the farm all the time. So yeah, I've definitely chunked up since then. So well, there was one I was just gonna Cody's dancing. That type of dancing would not be allowed in the AUB dances. If you see Cody on a couple of the episodes, he talks about that, how he felt so judged by AUB people because he would not have been allowed to dance like that. Like that's considered, again, we've talked about this on our channel, that if you laughed too hard or whatever, if you lose control, then you can invite evil spirits into your body. And the way that Cody dances seems a little bit out of control, and that would be seen as inviting evil spirits or whatever into your body. That's probably why the guy went for so long. I don't know. Beat the flavor of wild mushrooms. What else was in the stew? It was a German goulash that Dad used to make. Steak, onions, garlic, mushrooms.
Steak?
Yeah.
Gosh,
cube steak.
How would that be?
And then we didn't do a lot of noodles because you had to home make those noodles. But we grew potatoes, so he would do it over mashed potatoes. So yep, it was a German, I think, goulash is what he called it, kamikaze stew, but it was over mashed potatoes, kind of a brown gravy and steak, and it was dang good. It was a really good and really dangerous. So
Yeah, it's really interesting when you talk about the risks in food and vehicles. Reminds me of the risk in electricity on The Sound of Gravel.
yeah.
It honestly, that's why that book hit very close to home for us on multiple levels. Oh, yeah.
Raised 39 kids up there, and the amazing part is 39 kids all made it to adulthood. So
We've
there
said
were
that.
so many times when
Yeah.
there were so many accidents that could have gone so much worse.
And that's another
growing
reason.
up.
Okay, this isn't actually funny, but that's
So-
another reason why they're like, see, God looks out after us. You
Mhm.
probably should have died right there and you didn't. So God's looking out after us because we are God's chosen people. And yeah, we've always said that too. All of my siblings say that. How in the hell did all of us get to adulthood?
Yeah.
We're so surprised that we all got to adulthood. But no, we related on that to that book on multiple levels. Oh, and yeah, somebody says, well, yeah, the evil spirits did get into Cody. It's, yeah, he would not have been allowed to do that. And I think he said it, I saw it on one episode, or maybe it was a little clip or something, where he was like, yeah, nobody in the AUB appreciate, I have my own dances so that I can dance however I want to because they don't appreciate my dancing. And no, he would definitely not be allowed. Let's see. Oh, Bob's is, I want to know who Bob's is. Somebody has Kamikaze stew, was the best. So it's probably somebody that we know.
Yeah.
Oh, let's see. I wonder if Corey had caves where he grew up for potatoes, canning stuff, etc. And maybe that state you didn't need a cave. They had pits.
Yeah, we had food pits.
They
So
had, food pit would keep a good majority of the food down in these pits that were cold storage.
they were
type of.
self-sufficient cold storages. They basically held the temperature around 55 degrees year round. So
Yeah.
built into the ground. So
Yeah, and no car seats and no seat belts. No. In fact, my sister, who's 4 months older than me, she grew up in Montana, but not on the ranch. She grew up in a different part of Montana. And when her grandmother had passed, we drove to Montana to go to her funeral. And she called me on the phone and she lectured me so hard because I had just had my son. And she's like, you better have him in a car seat and you better have him buckled up. And if you're going to drive all the way up here. And she was chastising the hell out of me. And I'm like, sweetheart, I always put him in a car seat. I always do that. And so yeah, of course I did have a car seat for him, but she was so judgmental of the way that we grew up because she didn't understand it, because she just wasn't, I mean, she came to visit my dad over the summer, and she would stay with us over the summer, but then she would go back to her mom during the school year. And she was so like, we didn't know, because that's just how we were raised. That's just how we grew up. So we didn't know what we were doing. I mean, hell, a lot of the moms breastfed as they drove because that was, I mean, who's got time? You gotta get stuff done when you can get stuff done. So it really is very tragic how unsafe we were. And so many of these laws are put into place for a reason. So yeah. And now my daughter-in-law, which I adore her and love her, but I literally took my grandbaby from one shopping center, same parking lot. We didn't even go anywhere else, but we went from one store, just parked like, I don't know, 20 stalls away to another store. And I didn't buckle her down. I just had her sit on the seat, in the back seat, of course. Yeah, I got chastised for that one. I was like, oh my God, we didn't even like leave the parking lot. We were just like moving from like the grocery store over to the shoe store. But nowadays is that you just don't do that kind of thing at all. So, yeah, Rosa says, I was good about putting my kids in car seats, but it took me years to train myself to wear my own seatbelt. And yeah, I mean, we were lucky if we even had a seatbelt was mom grabbing you like that. That was your seatbelt. So yeah, let's see.
Yeah, somebody said that they were impressed that Dad cooked. Yeah, he didn't have a cook week, but he would cook every once in a while, depending on what he was making. So for special occasions too. So he'd help cook for like Christmas dinner and Thanksgiving dinner and stuff like that. They all did special things, and he did have 9 wives. Not all 9 wives cooked. So there were some wives that couldn't cook, and probably were voted out of having a cook week because nobody would eat their food. We'd rather starve than eat their food. So yeah, there were definitely wives that cooked really, really well, and other wives that needed some lessons. So.
Yeah. Oh, somebody says my mom drank a beer. She was told that helped with nursing babies. It did. The hops in the beer is what caused milk production. And so a lot of times, yeah, I was told that too. I've always hated the taste of beer. I've never been a beer drinker. But I have done that too at times when I've been told that. So yeah. Yeah, I used to drive in the back of pickups. I mean, times were a lot different back then too.
It was the 80s.
I know. Everyone rode in the back of a pickup truck, it felt like.
Yeah, because we actually went on a scouting trip with some of the kids down in Hamilton they would have been probably Mormon or Seventh. Other churches too, because the scouts were depending on what troop you were from. It was depending on what church you were from too.
Did you get your Eagle Scouts? I can't remember.
I didn't,
but you were real close.
Yeah, I got right up to I didn't finish my project because I was working full time at the time.
Is that your arrow thing that you have in?
No, that was Order of the Arrow. I did that one.
Okay.
That was another special thing, but basically, yeah, we were all driving in the back of pickup trucks to get us up to some of the Boy Scout things. So
I know I wanted to get on this
3 or 4 kids in the front of the pickup truck and the rest of us piled in the back of it.
Yeah.
So
yeah, and it was just a different time. I feel like cars didn't go as fast, like especially here in Utah. Had 300,000 people in the whole state of Utah. Now we have 3.6 million. That's a huge difference. Like now it's just, there's just so much unsafe. I mean, I used to steal my mom's car at 14 and drive 45 minutes to go see my boyfriend. So things were different back then.
We didn't steal vehicles.
You didn't have to because you just had the keys. I know.
We were told, hey, you know what? I'm taking this vehicle down to, we were required. I was driving it 14, the pickup truck to go, or the tractors to go get stuff done. I was required to drive at that time. So
yeah, it was just a different generation and we survived. I mean, not everybody did, which is why we have the laws. Historical documents relating to early Mormonism suggest that Joseph Smith employed oh gosh, that's a big word for me, sacraments to fulfill his promise that every Mormon convert would experience visions of God and spiritual. Okay, so I have my own opinions about this. I don't have a lot, like.
I think I know what that,
basically you're going to have psychedelic experiences in this. That's a big word for us homeschooled kids. Entheogenesis infused sacraments. So yeah, and then I saw your comment earlier. I was trying to get back to that about the prophets having, let's see, I think not too long ago, you were talking about leaders having hallucinations on mushrooms. There is a super interesting paper on the Joseph Smith and entheogenesis. I would really like to read that because there is a lot of documentation to prove that would be the case. This is a tricky subject to get into because it is so polarizing for so many people. What were you going to say? Yeah. See how we're hesitant to like.
There's some people that believe that within the group, and then there's other people that don't believe it. They believe that he was chosen.
Send it to us. That would be awesome.
Came to visit him, where another one might.
I personally think that there was a lot of experience with people having these types of experiences. Again, a lot of it could be from fasting. You know, when you fast for so long, your body produces you can hallucinate after you've fasted for so long. So there's a lot of different ways to get to that state of mind. Again, without going into too much detail, because I don't want to, I mean, this is definitely a very controversial subject. I personally think that a lot of them have had experiences with it. Corey and I were just talking about this last night.
I wouldn't be surprised if it came out that that's how they get connected with God and basically come up with some of their brilliant laws and discussions. Yeah, I wouldn't be surprised if it came out that they were taking the sacrament that was infused a little bit with some earthly mushrooms. So
we were sitting
stew.
outside in the hot tub last night, and we were watching some of the stars, and I think Starlink was really kind of just because it was just one satellite after another that was going over our house. And we were talking about this exact subject because I was saying, how do these men believe the bullshit that they spew? How do they genuinely believe that? Because are they making it up, or did they do some level of psychedelics where it caused them to genuinely see these things? Because some of them have such a deep conviction that you're wondering how they created that. It has to be some level of, because I know with my own experience with ayahuasca, my own experience with psilocybin, my own experience with that type of stuff, that I know how deeply convicted I get of some of the things that I've experienced. So anyways, it's definitely, so it's funny that you would bring that up on this live, because we were 100% having this conversation last night. And somebody says they must have. How else could they come up with this shit?
Yeah.
I
think they're
I
having
agree.
these experiences. They're and then there's one sober guy in there trying to write down.
He's over here
trying to scribe everything down to try to make it make sense. And it's
now tell me again how that flaming sword and what it looked like. And so again, I'm not trying to make fun of or discount what people believe. It just, I've wondered it myself. And especially when there's so many different people who have had these convictions. Did they eat your kamikaze soup?
Yep.
And part of it too is, especially after reading The Sound of Gravel, how many of these independent polygamous people, or not even just polygamous, independent religious leaders, we went back, we just did
or even mainstream.
Right.
Oh yeah.
The sober scribe was not paid enough. We just did that interview with Celia LeBaron, and we went back and we watched a couple of the episodes of Daughters of a Cult on Hulu, and it's like, how do these people genuinely, with such deep conviction, believe some of the bullshit that they spew? Oh yeah, makes you wonder.
I'm curious how some people believe that what connects those people, what connected my parents that they went, oh, you know what, I'm going to believe this too.
And I'm going to let my children be abused. I'm going to do this with such conviction that my children can look me in the eye and tell me, this is wrong, and yet I still allow it to happen. Thank you so much. He sent the article over. Yeah, thank you. We're going to definitely take a look at that and read that. I'm curious about that too. And especially like here we are doing the 27 rules of celestial marriage. And I'm like, how did these fools believe this was real? And again, I say that flippantly, and I apologize. I'm not trying to offend people's deep beliefs, because a lot of people really do believe this, but it's hard for us as survivors of this. Go.
No, just with the 27 rules that we are reading, I feel like a lot of these rules, there's the core or the truth part of it. Then it is surrounded with bigotry, sexism, opinions that twist the small truth that's in there, where it should be, you should be obedient to your husband and work things out and not speak ill against him and stuff like that. Well, why don't you just change that you should, your partner, you should not speak ill of your partner, work together, do all these things like that. So it's, and so there's some of it that I'm like, okay, a piece of that I can agree with if they'd reword it. And then there's other ones that I'm like, yeah, I don't agree with any of that.
Mm-hmm.
So it is interesting that they put together these rules and then wrapped up a lot of it with their bigoted ideas. So,
well, no, I bring up the hot tub too, because here we are looking at the stars, right? And we're watching Starlink go by, and it's just like our universe is so vast, and yet it's so expansive, and there's so much going on out there. And yet we find ourselves in these little societies where our rules, and we're constructed into such a tiny little thing of this is okay, but all of this out here is not okay. And so as we do tend to sit in the hot tub a lot and just think about the world and philosophize and just think about like, what are, we question everything. And so as we're sitting in there, because we're watching the sky, we're watching the stars, we're watching like all of this massiveness around us, and yet we want to construct our lives into this little box, and that's all we can live in. That's all we can never question or go farther than that, because why? Because somebody told us that that's what we had to do. And because somebody said, if you don't do this, all of that that's available out there will never be yours, because you will never have eternal anything. So yeah, so that's why I mentioned the hot tub and the Starlink coming by, is because it feels like there's so much going on outside of just this little idea that we lock ourselves into in the name of religious beliefs or in the name of following a leader of some sort. So yeah. Let's see. Would someone seek out a medium or psychic, or is that considered against the cult? That would be very much against the cult, unless, of course, that is a spiritual man or a woman inside the cult.
Yeah. You guys are asking a medium and a psychic. Those would be considered earthly terms.
Yeah, Rosa says that would be considered demonic.
Yeah. You're looking to get that information. Yeah, it would be a medium or psychic, but it's called a PSR within the AUB. He's the one that's supposed to go talk to God for you. So he's your medium. He's your psychic. You're supposed to absolutely believe everything he says, that he's going to lead you down the right path. So PSR, medium, psychic. Yeah. Same thing. It's just, yeah.
Yeah, it is. It's definitely in Mormonism or Church of Jesus Christ Latter-day Saints. When you're about 15 or 16 years old, you are given what's called a patriarchal blessing. I was given one. You were given one. We need to get a copy of yours. I'd love to read it. I have a copy of mine, and that would be like your going to a psychic or a medium. I guess that would be comparable to that. And this person in the LDS church, this person is typically somebody that goes for over a huge area of people. They're considered the patriarch that gives these blessings. You go meet with them a few times, they gather information about you, and then they go pray on what the Lord wants you to know. And then they come and they put their hands on your head and they give you a blessing. And the blessing is supposed to have come straight from God through them to you as a direction for your life. In the AUB or the polygamous community, at least how I grew up, it's typically the father that gives this blessing to the child. Now, if you have an unworthy father, then you can, or you just have somebody who doesn't believe in themselves at that level, then you can get a blessing from someone else. So my dad gave me my patriarchal blessing when I was 15. I have a sister who's 4 hours older than me. He gave it to us and then to our best friend. All three of us, her parents did not have that ability. So long answer, that's how you would go get a psychic. Now, this is supposed to be a roadmap for your life. This tells you, but of course, there's always the catch at the end. that you will only obtain these blessings and all of this if you follow all of the rules and all of the laws that were set forth. So there's always a catch.
Yeah. And if you get excommunicated, those aren't going to be fulfilled, because mine said something along the lines of I'd have many wives from many nations.
Well, you did have 2, so
From many nations?
many personalities
Yeah.
too.
Okay. There we go. Maybe it is right. Good going. Yeah. You're making fun
I
of
got
yourself. So,
So I agree
yeah,
with this
that's
one.
true.
It's wild we created an idea of God and then immediately put a wall between ourselves and that God. I absolutely agree. Oh, this is funny. Visions of
You're-
hunkering down
you're
into
not-
a hot tub with some kamikaze stew and a healthy slug of wine, sorting out colds.
It is.
You know us.
Brilliant.
You know us too well.
That's right.
So, yeah. And Rosa says, exactly. Patriarchal blessings claim to do this about the same thing, but they are actually pretty standardized and generic. So when I received my patriarchal blessing, and I actually might post this one day, I've kind of considered it. I was told at the end of the blessing, because there was multiple blessings that were given that day. My dad did them all. But at the end of my blessing, the sober scribe that was there, she was sober and she was writing everything down. She was in tears and she was like, that is one of the most beautiful blessings that I've ever heard. It was not generic by any means. It was very much, because I thought the same thing. Oh, you say that to everybody. And she was very like, no, this was a very special one. And so I don't know.
Was that yours?
Yeah.
The one that scared me the most was the mother that we called grandma. And she was, at that time, she was like probably 70, 75. So we didn't think she was given the blessing that if she stayed truthful or righteous and truthful, that she would see the second coming of Christ. And we were scared. We were little kids. We're like, oh my gosh, that means Christ is coming any day. And so, because she was going to be alive when that happened, and she didn't look like she was too close to, she didn't have too many more years left in life. So we knew it was coming right away. And so when she passed away, I was like, she was such a sweet lady in my whole life. And I'm like, I was so confused, because did she see the second coming of Christ and I missed it? Was she evil?
And that is typically one of the blessings that you will receive.
Yeah,
if you are faithful, you will see.
Yeah. Did she not fulfill her blessing? She seemed to be, in my point of view, because she was such a sweet lady. We called her grandma. And so she was so amazing. So I was confused, because I'm like, I either missed it, so I slept through the second coming of Christ, or she was a bad person
and she missed it completely.
Yeah. And she didn't seem like the bad person, or the guy that gave the blessing was full of shit. And so kind of did the whole thing where,
you're given these blessings at 15 and
Maybe.
16.
Yeah.
You're a late bloomer if you wait till you're 17. You're too early if you're 14. I think a lot of times.
That's not true.
Why? You didn't get yours till you were 17? You late bloomer? Are you serious?
Don't be rude.
I don't care if you got it at 17.
I don't know when I got mine.
Yeah, I got mine at 15. But 15 or 16 is the optimal age, because you're developing more of your personality. And so in the Mormon church, in the LDS church, I mean, this one person seeks this out for multiple stake centers. So in the Mormon church, you have a church building, and like, I don't even know, 10 different church buildings will go to one stake center. And then there's like bishops over every building, and then one stake presidency over all of the different. So it's, it's a buildup. There's one patriarch that does the blessings for a whole area. And you have to go meet with him. Again, you meet with him, you talk to him. If at 14, you haven't quite developed your full personality, everything that, you know, your character, all that. So they like you to go at 15 or 16. If you go too late, then you might have already made mistakes that are unrepairable. And so I have that, because I feel like these patriarchal blessings in my experiences are a way to control a lot of the children and shame them into compliance. You have to behave this way or you're not going to receive any of these blessings. And listen to how beautiful these blessings are. And again, I really did appreciate my patriarchal blessing, but because of the way someone acted during it, I thought I was superior. I was such an asshole. I was not a nice person. I was so pious and so like, I genuinely thought I was better than so many people because yeah, they were just like,
you had a special blessing. We had
Melanie's
generic
mission
blessings.
is way farther above. Yeah, it was. And I didn't, now that I look back on it, it was like, that was one of the worst things that they could have said to me in that moment, because I put myself on such this huge pedestal.
Yeah.
Oh, it was horrible. I was not a nice person. It took me, again, I feel like I strongly have to live by that. I'm sorry for what I said when I was in a cult, because I got very pious and very, yeah. So
I think I was the opposite. Very unrighteous.
you're so full of it. You say
I think
that.
I got my
oh, Rosa
patriarchal
was
blessing.
married before she got hers.
Yeah, and I think I was 40. Thanks.
You're so full of crap. So, but they just
we got ours at 16. 15,
that's what I was always
so
told
special.
is they want you to have it in that time frame so that you're old enough to develop like a testimony of the church and that kind of stuff, but you're not old enough, or they're hoping that you haven't made any major mistakes that you have to go repent of before you can actually receive that blessing. In fact, I was watching, what were we watching? And he was like, yeah, I went to my dad and my dad was like, I confessed of some of my sins after the fact. And his father was like, that was why it was so hard for me to give you your patriarchal blessing, because you were out of alignment with God. And I couldn't get the spiritual downloads to give to you because you were so out of alignment with God. I can't remember where I just saw that, but I did. And I was like, whoa, there's a good way to, shame and guilt. Again, I have no problem with religion. Go have religion, go do whatever it is you need to do. Just leave your shame and guilt at the door when you into into my space. That's the part that I have a hard time with.
My
is the
blessing
shame.
is that you'll be a pool boy in the Celestial Kingdom because you're
going to be Melanie and her ex-husband's pool boy.
Yeah, that's what mine was.
Thank you, Diana Phaser, for becoming a member of our channel. We really appreciate that. Let's see.
Capital R. That's right.
There was a confirmation that comes along with baptism at 8. It's similar blessing, but more geared towards children rather than teens or adults. That's very true. Yeah. So you'd get baptized and then you'd get a confirmation blessing afterwards, but it was definitely geared towards an 8-year-old level. And I thought it was definitely
they
laced with a whole lot of shame and guilt.
Well, they give you baptism, and then basically you then became a member of whatever church you were. The way we were told is we were given our membership of the Church of Jesus Christ of Latter-day Saints, even though we were AUB.
Yeah.
And then you were confirmed, had the Holy Ghost placed upon you so that he could guide you what was right and wrong. And then you go, hey, that kind of feels wrong. And then no, here's a scripture that says it's right. So they confuse you all the way around anyhow. So
he says, I didn't know they had pools up there. I'm reconsidering my life choices. Because you're definitely going to be
tubs,
hot tub.
It's celestial. I don't know. They might I don't know. Again, you can't really base heaven or hell or whatever based off my patriarchal blessing, because I don't know if it's true or not. I'm pretty sure it's not. So.
Yeah. There was one I wanted to answer. I might not be able to put it up on the screen because it just keeps jumping. But I just restarted Big Love, and I was thinking maybe this for the next book club. I'm a freak that watches it once a year, but it makes me wonder who's who after watching it with your channel. I want to watch it again too.
So say that again. Marie, yeah, thank you. I haven't missed it yet because you're still here. Sweet. Thanks.
That's awesome.
So they're just confused with the
second
last
coming.
blessing. Yeah. So second coming still here. I was never given that blessing. So I don't know if
You were never given the blessing that you'd see the second coming of Christ. Oh, I'm
pretty
like,
sure
I
he
thought that was
probably
standard.
thought I was going to die sooner.
Okay. My mom is so funny. I love my mom. She's so funny because we were talking about that and I was like, she goes, I don't know, Melanie. I don't know what's true anymore. I mean, for hell's sakes, half the people I know that are dead now were promised to see the second coming of Christ and they're all dead. So I don't even know what to believe anymore. I just had to laugh over that one because I thought it was so funny.
Maybe
I'm like,
we just missed
true
it.
story, Mom. Do you follow a religion now? No, I don't believe in organized religion.
No.
I believe that everyone has the opportunity to have a relationship with their maker, whatever
Directly.
that looks like for you. But as for having an organized religion that another man can come in, another human can come in and tell me what's what and how's how and try to get between that relationship. No, I don't subscribe to that. Again, if you do, I hope, no
we
issue with
support
anybody
you.
who
Yeah.
has that. It just doesn't work for what where we're at. Let's see. Oh, yes, that's right. On the coffee, I was trying to be a little funny because they surely have punch and cookies in the hall sometimes. Yeah, we do not have coffee. And one thing I wanted to touch on that you had just mentioned is that when you are baptized in the AUB, I don't know about this in the other, this would be a question to ask for like Jade and Jeffs and
Mhm.
some of the Kingstons is when you are baptized, you are confirmed a member of the Church of Jesus Christ of Latter-day Saints. Now, people in the church might lose their minds over that because they don't believe that that's true. But that is one of the confirmations that you're given after your baptism. And a lot of people don't realize that.
Yeah, that's because of the belief system that the AUB is the patriarchal leadership of the Church of Jesus Christ of Latter-day Saints, where the actual church that is being run under that same name would only be considered the Aaronic or erotic priesthood, whichever one you want to go with, but the lower version of the priesthood. They are to go out and send out missionaries, run the systems, do all of that stuff. But the AUB believes that they run the higher laws,
Mhm.
have the hierarchies of said same church. So when they baptize their youth into the AUB, they baptize them into the Church of Jesus Christ of Latter-day Saints.
Yeah.
And they might have an argument with them.
Mhm.
So Church of Jesus Christ of Latter-day Saints might sue them, I don't know, and say, you guys can't baptize people into our church without us knowing. So,
Yeah.
but they do.
Yeah.
So,
Oh, so Karen says, I was in my 50s when I got mine. I went to church, just never cared to have a patriarchal blessing. Again, no, a lot of people, I feel bad.
no
I didn't mean
judgment.
that
She
you're-
got hers at 15.
I feel bad. I'm so sorry. That really wasn't meant to come off judgment. Mostly I was just messing with Corey. But
Because her dad's a prophet. Mine's not. She got hers at 15. I didn't. So
yeah,
she gets to see the second coming of Christ. I don't.
I feel bad about that. There was really no judgment on that, honestly. It's just that's what I was taught is though that's the age that they want you to have them at. But I know a ton of people who do not get them for that reason. They just didn't want them. There was no reason for them to have the blessing, and so it was definitely not. Yeah.
Yeah. In the AUB, they consider it a patriarchal blessing. Out here in the world, it'd be a narcissistic blessing.
Yeah. I mean, honestly,
You're pretty amazing. Here's the reason why. Keep being amazing.
Because if you're not, yeah. So I did want to get to this one
Sorry.
question. No, it's true.
I'm being judgmental here.
I wanted to read this one question. Dang it. Can you describe how you view the difference of how shame and guilt looks versus constructive correction? I feel like shame and guilt. Now, I am no expert on this. I don't have a degree in psychology or or in parenting of any sort. This is my own personal humble opinion that I don't know anything. I am just, but I feel like whenever someone's being corrected and there is a tinge of, I want you to be afraid of your actions if you don't do something. I want you to be afraid of, I was always taught my entire life, you have to live this way or else God's going to punish you. There was never a correction of, hey, what blessing are you trying, what goal are you trying to obtain? What blessing are you trying to obtain? Okay, how could you have done this situation differently to be more in alignment with that you said you wanted? Do you want, so let's just use an example. I was always taught you have to do these things or you're going to hell and you're not going to see Jesus. Instead of saying, hey, if your goal is to get to heaven to see Jesus, is this something that aligns with that goal? It's not. Okay, what could you have done differently, or what can you do differently in the future to make that change so that you are going to obtain what it is that you said you wanted? You said you wanted this goal of being able to get back to heaven with God and Christ. So what do you need to do to obtain that? I feel like that's two totally different parenting than saying, well, now you're going to go to hell. Look what you just did. You're going to have to go repent of that. And that's how I was always taught. I was always scared. I was always taught with fear. I was always taught in a fear-based type of parenting. I was not taught with goal-oriented parenting. I hate it when you smirk like that. I can see you when I'm looking into the camera. And I'm like, what are you doing?
Well, no, just
I'm like, what
they're
are you
saying
laughing
what's
at?
the difference between a shame-based.
Yeah.
I really enjoyed Tangle, and so Mama Knows Best, when she sings a song, Mama Knows Best, I'm like, holy crap, that's a raised
Mother knows best.
Yeah,
Yeah.
it was raised with kind of a shame-based don't touch the stove because you'll burn yourself and it'll get blisters. Oh, if you touch the stove, you're going to hell. I mean, there's and I wouldn't even say that. It would be like, didn't I teach you? Yeah, there's just a level. And when she sings that song, it's just tinged or laced with that shame.
Yeah.
That instead of healthy conversation between a kid and a parent and that genuine love. So,
And believe me,
and you guys can join our cult. So
what cult?
The hot tub, kamikaze stew, wine.
Oh, philosophy,
Yeah.
hot tubs, mushrooms, and drinks. It sounds
Yeah.
like a cult I would join. Oh gosh.
Yeah, it's a great cult.
Yeah.
Welcome to our cult.
Yeah. So for me, I have not always been very good at that. I mean, honestly, there's been moments with my kids that I even said to my middle child, what in the hell were you just thinking? Did you like fall out of a stupid tree and hit every branch on the way down? I was such an asshole that day, and I really did not mean to be. And I was just like so at the decision that this little kid had just made that I popped off with that. And Corey was like, excuse me, what in the hell did you just say to our kid? And I mean, I'll own it.
And he reminds you of it.
He says it to me all the time. Yeah, Mom, sorry.
Sorry, I fell out of the stupid tree.
It was not my finest moment. I am ashamed of that. I'm sad
He's got
that
a
I
good sense of humor.
ever
about it.
said that
He's
to
a
my child.
genius.
And definitely, yeah, I have
one of
not. He what?
He's one of our most.
He
has humor.
Yeah, because why? Because I traumatized him by saying that to him. And what if we said we have to add humor or else we'll cry?
Exactly. And so
now the kid has to make fun of me.
But he's so intelligent too, because you'll say something to him. He's like, wait a minute, you putting a sliver in my relationship? Are you doing this? So it's trying to clean up the way we were raised and get that stuff out of our we've had to become more aware and try to remove some of the stuff we grew up thinking which was normal in our childhood.
Yeah.
To remove that from raising our kids and watching our kids now starting to raise their own families and doing such a better job than we ever did. So
and I'll own the
them.
crappy. I've done some pretty horrible parenting things. I'll own them. Absolutely. I'll talk about them all day long because they're things that I did that I wish so bad that I could go back and take, that I could heal myself more so I don't have to deal with that. But yeah, I definitely have said and done some pretty crappy things to my kids. So, and I always want to say to them, I'm sorry for what I said when I was, Jody, thank you. It's good to see you, Jody. She says, I'm reading The Dirt Beneath Our Door by Pamela Jones. It doesn't seem as dark as some other books, perhaps for a book club. Oh yeah, we'll definitely, We'll definitely take a look at
We're
that.
just going to read our book next time. So
What do you mean?
It's not that I.
Oh, we're going to
we did-
read the book beforehand. Yeah.
Yeah, I'll take a.
I'm going to take a screenshot of that so that I
Perfect.
can make sure. So,
Oh, I think the corporal punishment might be a lot.
oh, I probably should have just screenshotted it right there on
Yeah.
my phone. Do you still believe in Jesus? Do you still consider yourself Christians, even if you don't belong to an organization? How would you answer
think,
that? I definitely believe that there was.
I think that there are so many. Yes, there was a lot taught. There was a lot of the teachings of Christ that I absolutely agree with. So love one another. There. Do I believe everything that I read in the Bible? I don't. I don't. There is good stuff that I read that I'm like, this will help me in my life be a better person.
Yeah.
And I'm going to incorporate it. And because everything that I was taught within the group as I grew up, to look through the Bible or look through the Book of Mormon to find scriptures that backed up a belief system that the preachers were preaching over the pulpit, you know what I mean, to back that up. And so there's a lot of stuff in all of those scriptures that I don't necessarily agree with. But do I believe in Christian-based values? Love one another, kindness. Yes, I do feel like I believe in those. Anything that's good makes me a better person, makes me a more kind, loving person. That's what I want. So,
Yep.
And it doesn't necessarily need to come. There's certain things that we read or understand that we go, this is the truth. This is who I want to become. So.
Yep, I agree. I concur with that.
And it doesn't have to come out of the
I was
Bible.
going to let my priesthood head answer that question. Thank you.
And I don't believe that there's a priesthood head. I believe you probably have just as much. If we want to call it priesthood or intuition or whatever you want to call it, you have just as much priesthood as I. And there, I'm going to be
Yeah, you'll be on blast for that.
Yeah.
Thank you for our family for mentioning this. Shame and guilt usually include some form of extortion. If you want to be with your family in the afterlife, you better do all of these ridiculous things. I agree with that. That's where I feel like shame and guilt comes in to manipulate.
Is that my family? Hi, family.
Yeah. Yep.
So,
and again, I'll own all the things I've done, like my parenting. I have no problem owning up a lot of the mistakes I've done, because I feel like when we can own them and we can talk about them, that's where other people can, you made that big of a mistake. What are you thinking? But that way we can learn and grow. But yeah, I will definitely check into that book. We are going to do a little bit like deep, because we loved the sound of gravel. Right. It was just really, it was a lot for us, and we learned a lot about ourselves. We grew a lot, and I was so appreciative of Ruth, the author, coming onto our channel. I feel like that was such a healing conversation with her. But in the future, I think we're going to do a little bit more digging and researching into a book before we just start doing.
Well, what I think we should do is, hey, here's a book. Here's kind of how we grew up, blah, 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 blah. And this is another book that we read that helped us heal through some of this trauma. So here's a book on healing. Here's a book that reminded us that, we needed healing.
Yeah.
And so that book was something that definitely reminded me that I needed healing still. It brought up some emotions in me where I'm like, man, that sucks. I gotta read my other book, get some agreements going, and heal this portion of what I just read, and be very appreciative of where I am now in life.
Yeah.
So.
Yep. Did your father know Ogden Kraut? I think his writings are really interesting for a book club, but it would be a pretty dry read. I knew Ogden Kraut personally. Mm-hmm. I actually went to Israel with him and his wife, Anne Wild, and Anne and I became very good friends on that trip. And then Ogden was on that trip with us as well. And yeah, I actually really appreciated listening to him. That man is well of knowledge, like that. He knows a lot of stuff, and that he made the trip so much more interesting. Go ahead.
None.
But yeah, I don't know
He
that
wrote a lot of
I agreed
interesting, yeah,
with a lot of stuff.
he wrote a lot of, he knew a lot of the old scriptures and tried to write why it was necessary to continue to live polygamy in today's day and age. So
Yeah, he's definitely, and it's funny because Anne, his wife Anne, she has, I did not know this, but we just found this out yesterday. John DeLynn of Mormon Stories. Anne Wilde was his very first interview that he
Yeah.
ever did on Mormon Stories. And I just love Anne. She is just one of my all-time favorite people. And she has been just a huge influence in my life in a lot of ways. But I met her when I was still married to my ex-husband, and then we became friends. And then she knew Corey's father really well. Ogden Kraut knew Corey's father really well. And so I wanted her to meet Corey. So we go to meet up with her for dinner, and she brings Tom Green and Tom Green's wife, a few of Tom Green's wives, to the dinner. And I was still very deeply into my people pleasing mode at that time. And that was when Corey was like, absolutely not. I will not sit at dinner with, we'll just
somebody I detest.
Yeah. And so Corey got up and walked out of the restaurant because he was like, I absolutely refuse to share a meal or sit at a table with a man like this.
Yeah.
And so I did not know she was bringing Tom Green to the dinner when we went to dinner together. I had no idea. And so, it was extremely uncomfortable. And, of course, when we first got there, it was just the four of us because my mom came, Corey, Anne, and myself. And then she's like, oh, we're going to have to get a bigger table. I've invited all of these other people to show up. And Corey was just like, and, she knew your dad really well. And so she was trying to, oh, hey, let's get to be friends. And it was a very uncomfortable, very awkward situation. And I sat down next to one of Tom Green's wives who went on to tell me about her first child at 14. And I was like, what? And so I had to, it was hard to get up and excuse myself because it's Corey getting up, leaving me and my mom. That's a big chunk of the table. But yeah, Corey stood right up and went, absolutely not. I will not do this, and walked right out. So I was very proud of you later on. But at the moment I was just like, I don't know what to say.
Yeah.
Tanya Johnson says, love you guys. Thank you so much. We appreciate that super chat.
Tom Green was not one of my favorite human beings. I thought he was one of the major problems with polygamy is his idea that he was a predator and he was a pedophile. And he felt like that he was almost proud of it, that he was being persecuted and had to go towards and I'm like, you're a disgusting human being. No, thank you. Hope they throw you in jail. And they did. So
yeah, he tried to join the AUB at one time and was declined because of his predatory practices. And he was not allowed to join the AUB at all. And Katie, I did see your comment. I am so sorry. I was driving when you sent me that text and it just played over the car and I totally forgot to respond, but I will respond to your text. She sent me a text about a ride. I didn't even think, I apologize for that. Somebody says, which church is that? Is that the AUB? Catholics used to believe that you'd go to hell if you unalived yourselves. I was taught this my whole life too, that if you chose out of life, that was a straight ticket to hell. I did have an attempt when I was 20 years old because
it's not funny,
I didn't even care. Like I was like, this, whatever is waiting for me over there has to be better than what I am doing here. And so, yeah, I made that attempt at 20 and I was taught that. And how long has it been? Like 15 years. We had a very, very close family member choose out, and it was
multiple.
Quite a few family members choose out. And that was one of the hardest things I've ever had to face. I remember talking to my LDS bishop about it. He came over and I was sitting on the front porch with him and I was like, what's going to happen to her? Where is she going to, that I feel like is one of the reasons why I did such a deep dive on having my own relationship with a higher power and not having someone else's opinion come in between me and my higher power. Because as much as I loved that bishop, I didn't love what he had to say to me about it. And so that was, Remember that?
Yeah.
Oh,
Now, the AUB has a lot of rules that'll send you to hell. So, yeah. So, yep. If that's one of them. There's so many rules that they imply, but yeah, most young teenage boys are going to hell. So
yeah.
they had a whole bunch of different rules on, and so yeah, I was told at a very young age that I was going to hell, and so I believed them. And so, as my daughter-in-law says, I'm going for a high score. So
Yeah, she's trying. Corey's trying to break all the rules. He's going for a high score. If he's going to go to hell, he might as well get a high score with it.
Sorry
But
if I already said.
yeah, sorry. Thank you for that super chat, Catherine. She says, sorry if you already said this. What's on Corey's shirt? So
My daughter made it for me.
there is it's green for St. Patrick's Day today.
Mm-hmm.
But yeah, there's that game Among Us where you basically, it's a hide and seek type of game, or hide and
Our kids used to play it with us all the time.
And this was Corey's avatar.
This is my character.
So she made everybody t-shirts with their, I'm like, are you really going to wear that on our live today? And he's like, yeah, I probably will. So yeah.
Got my green on.
Yeah.
The devil is among us. So me.
Yeah. Wow. I just looked up Tom Green. His stepdaughter became his wife at 13. What was so disgusting about that too, I didn't know a lot about Tom Green. I had no idea when he was there. Corey knew about him. I did not know about him. So when she said, this is who it is, I was like, oh, okay, whatever. But there's a documentary out there, and the mom and the daughter had babies on the same day, but the daughter was married to him first. Maybe I'm going to get, I hope I'm going to get this right. So, but the mom had the baby first. So the mom ends up having Tom Green's oldest son. So she's like, yeah, I just was in bed, had the baby, and then I rolled over and she got in bed and she had her baby, and we had both babies born on the same day. And I was like, what? Excuse me? It was so disturbing. And so like, yeah, that man was a whole lot of multiple levels of disturbing from that man. And so
and yet
I'm glad that you stood your ground and that you had such strong
and
moral compass of this family.
He's not the only one within a lot of these communities. He's a dime a dozen. So
yeah. And Corey is the moral compass of this family. He has been the straight and narrow pathway for us, as I get
yeah. I don't like who you're comparing me to.
So so he definitely Tom Green is a piece of work. I believe he died in jail, which
good riddance.
He should have. I've met a couple of his wives now that they're thriving and their lives are so much better, and they are just and what's sad about that is the documentary that we watched. What are you pinching me? I have green on my green. No, I do somewhere. Is that the girls were so convinced that what they were doing was the right thing, and you hear them at 14, 15 years old in this documentary defending.
Yeah, it shows you how brainwashed we were growing up. It really is disturbing when you're taught this from birth, how you can believe that half the crap that goes on is okay. So, it can be backed up by scripture. So
I agree with this, and I want to point this out because thank you, Marie Baker, for pointing this out. It says, I believe our reading that book, The Sound of Gravel, was directly tied to your holding out help. It all flowed to me. I'm hoping I'm explaining it right. I could tell how deeply you were affected, and it seemed right. I absolutely agree with you on that, and I appreciate that, because I felt like it opened me up into a extremely vulnerable part of my life that I kind of had, that when, not everybody who leaves this kind of life wants to just get out there and openly talk about it. It's something that I feel like for us, we put it on a back burner for a while, even though it was part of our everyday lives, because our families are a part of our everyday lives. It's not something that we wanted to go out and advocate for, because it is so heavy at times. And so I feel like, you know, we use a lot of humor, we joke, we make light of things. But then when I read something like that, that really opens up those deep, deep experiences that we had, yeah, I feel like it opened us both up for the reality of life for people who come out of these situations. And that was us. And I feel like, again, my emotions when I ugly cried the night we were doing the practice were not because of her story. We all have dark, dark stories like that. It was the fact that she found that inner strength to move forward and made a better life for herself and her children. And that's where I'm so glad I finished the book, The Sound of Gravel, because I almost
Her
didn't.
siblings, yeah.
I almost walked away from that book. And I'm so grateful that I did, because it's that end where you find that triumph. So what are you reading?
Way to go, being the family's moral compass.
Oh,
I'm the one going to, yeah, your dad would not be,
your
your
what?
family would not be impressed you calling me the moral compass of this family.
Are you kidding me? My family adores you.
Yeah.
My family's like, yeah, when we got divorced, nobody even said sorry. Nobody was like, sorry, Mel, we're picking Corey over you. They were just like, get out. We only want Corey, not you.
Yeah. This is a good one, because I don't even remember I do remember getting up and walking out, but I thought she was doing something political.
Oh, when someone says, why was Tom Green invited to the
Yeah.
dinner? What was her purpose for introducing you to him? So we had all gone to a political thing. It was like laws around polygamy.
Yeah.
It was held at the local Salt Lake Community College. We went there, and then we were meeting up, because I said to her, hey, can I introduce you to Corey after the meeting? And Anne Wild, if you don't know who she is, I mean, you can Google her. She's all over the place. She has been an advocate for polygamy for a lot of years. And she did not join polygamy. She married Ogden Kraut way after she'd already raised her children, and ended up marrying Ogden after that. And so we were all at this political event, or this, I wouldn't even say it was political. It was just more of, I know that there were some lawmakers there. It was like, yeah.
How to deal with polygamous communities,
Yeah.
I think is what it was. It was more along the lines of, from what I remember, we went because we had grown up in polygamous communities.
And Anne had invited us to go.
Invited us so that we could discuss with lawmakers, police officers, things like that.
How do we advocate for some of the victims
with these people within it? How were we raised? We were raised scared of the
law enforcement
communities. So I think it was more along the lines of opening up a conversation with lawmakers and police officers, and then they invite somebody who's in direct violation of super important laws about children, and he's being prosecuted. Yeah, but was he at that meeting? I don't think he was. I don't think he was, because he was getting prosecuted.
And I think that he wanted to be at the meeting, or I think he was, but he wasn't in the meeting. He was like, he wanted to be there, but he was on the outskirts of it. So he wanted to meet up with Anne after the meeting. This was in the year 2000. So this has been 26 years ago. And yeah. And so she was like, I'm going to be on this side of town, meet me and I'm going to be meeting Melanie. So yeah, that was why he was there, is because we were all in this, like, I believe Joe Darger was there with his wives. There was a bunch of people there at that meeting. And yeah, we just kind of went, I believe it was towards the end of 2000, in the fall of 2000 is when we went. So yeah, so it's not something that normally I'd be like, hey, Anne, let's go to dinner. And then she's like, oh, let me invite Tom Green. It was because we were already at an event, and they wanted to be there. Let's see. Thank you for that super chat. Catherine Perry says, of those that leave the AUB, what percentage had parents that were converts? That's a good question. I don't know. The thing about the AUB is, back in the 70s, when Rulin was murdered, Rulin had a lot of men out proselyting, gaining membership for the AUB. So a good chunk of people were converts back in the day. then the FLDS had split from the AUB. The AUB, it's, FLDS had gone this way, AUB had gone this way. And the AUB would be considered an apostasy off from the FLDS.
There you go.
And so they did send a lot of people out to proselyte to try to get memberships up, which is how my parents became converts, Corey's dad was one of the people who did a lot of the proselyting for. Your dad is the one who converted my family.
Well, they were doing it out of the Mormon church. So a lot of them were going to Mormon functions, firesides, church things, and then when somebody would ask deeper questions, they'd go, "Oh, you should go talk to this person," and then they would. So a lot of people, when my dad came out of which he did, he was taught by somebody within the Mormon church to go talk to Rulon. When he came out, he was doing the same thing until they got excommunicated, him and my mom, so that they could no longer be a part of the. They couldn't teach people within the LDS church. So yes, he was. Tom Green was the one polygamist on Judge Judy, I think, years ago. Or something.
Yeah, he was. He was on Judge Judy.
So he was a
piece of work.
Yep. Not a lot of people, and of course I was gone by then, but I know my parents didn't think he was a good example of polygamy. They didn't want him to be associated or around the AUB. So I know he joined the Kingstons at some time, at some point in his life. So but
Hannah, somebody says her name is Hannah, and I guess she was on Growing Up in Polygamy podcast a few years ago. I have connected personally with Hannah, and she's beautiful and amazing. And she's, I believe she's in the process of writing a book, or it's just recently come out. So,
Corey, do you know, you said your dad was former military. Do you think that impacted how he structured your family? Yes. Yes, sir. No, sir. Yes. Yeah. We were definitely raised a bit military. So we definitely had a lot of the military structure put into.
And he had a lot of PTSD from being in the military. That was.
Yeah. He eventually went to, but he expected to, yes, sir. No, sir.
Yeah. There is a question. Says, do you remember Rulon's murder? How did that affect your families and fathers react? So we will actually be posting a video, probably Thursday, I'm thinking, with Celia LeBaron. She's one of the women off Daughters of a Cult. It's been ready to go for a while for any of you who happened to catch our surprise live that we did not realize we were filming, but she just had an interview with Jade and Jeff. So we didn't want to release it right on top of the Jade and Jeff's video. So we have been holding off releasing it for a little bit, but we go into more detail on that video of how it affected our lives, how it affected her lives, because it was her father that had Rulon murdered. So if you want to watch for that video, you can take a look for that. It'll probably come out Wednesday, because after we're finished with this live, we're going to be releasing the second part of the 27 rules of polygamy. And this is the one that pertains to the women and what their rules and stuff are. So we're going to be releasing that. And then Thursday, we'll probably release the Celia LeBaron one. And Thursday, oh my gosh, is a crazy day, because my oldest turns 34. Which feels so crazy to me that he is already that old. And our baby just turned 19, and then our oldest will be 34 on Thursday. And I'm like, I don't know. I never thought that I'd ever get this old. I don't feel that old. I really don't. But yeah, his birthday's, and then our 26-year anniversary of when we started dating was actually today. We went on our first date 26 years ago today. And then our first official by ourselves date would be tomorrow. We won't go into detail about that date, because that was a naughty date, but it was, so tomorrow will be 26 years since we started seeing each other. And it was crazy. So
it was one of them check mark going to hell date says everything
Yeah.
Check
So my
mark
oldest
everything.
is so I was just a couple days into 17 when I got married, and then I had a baby, boom,
Seems
9 months
back
later.
okay.
And so I was 17 when he was born, and he is 34, and he's an amazing father. I love watching him be a dad. He is such a good father. I love it. Him and his wife are some of the cutest parents I think I've ever seen. Oh yeah, Katie says earmuffs is exactly. So so we've been together tomorrow 26 years, and then I don't know what we're going to do for that. We're going to go out on a
Date. Yeah.
or maybe we'll just
Drink
hot
some
tub
damn
philosophize again. I don't know.
Yeah.
We do that. It's funny because Corey's brother will come over too, and we love to just like pick apart the world. Like it's we have some of the best hot tub conversations ever. Like
Yeah.
they're fun.
Montana's known for morel mushrooms, so that's what we knew what we were looking for. So
Yeah.
yes, some of them could have been but morel mushrooms are all over Montana, so those are the.
And every time
mushrooms
there's a
we used to
fire or
have.
something,
Yeah.
that's when they come in the thickest,
Yeah.
right?
So I still go up there, and if I can find a good morel mushroom and cook it up, oh, so yummy. So
Oh, thank you, Catherine Perry. She says, I hope everyone will like and hype this live. Yeah,
guys
thank
are
you.
Wonderful. Thank you.
So Blessed Canadian says, I watched Celia's interview with Jaden Jeffs. It was so good. I then went on TikTok to follow her and support her and caught her first live. I can't wait for your interview with her. She is amazing. She's been so supportive of us. And one of the things that we really talked about is like how everything's come so full circle, because here our parents, grandparents started this polygamy gang war almost, where it's like, you don't have the keys, we have the keys. And then it just literally became like a mafia style where they were just taking out. And now our children, our grandchildren can heal some of that. And so I think that's really I love that we can be as supportive of her, and she's super supportive of us. And I just absolutely love her. She's just, yeah. That's what I told her. I'm like, thank you for you and Anna getting up and doing this documentary, because it really does open a lot of pathways for people like Corey and I to be able to speak out. So,
My sister Katie said, but did we die? No, nobody within our family has died of mushroom poisoning.
No.
Yet.
Yeah,
yet. So
some of them might have had great revelations,
Yeah.
but that's about it.
That's about it.
Yeah, Christine Brown looks so much like the LeBarons. She really, I mean, her mom's directly from the LeBaron line. So absolutely. And hopefully we'll be doing a video with her fairly soon. It was funny when I saw her on Friday night, and she was just like, why haven't you called me yet? Why, like, you did a video with McKelty. Why haven't you called me yet? And I was just like, I know, I just don't want to take advantage of that. So, we did swap numbers, and hopefully we'll be working something like that out. And I did see somebody say it would be awesome to have Preston on here.
Yes.
We're always open to that.
Out.
Yeah, so we're always just putting that out there for anybody who might have direct contact
with Preston's family that may be watching. We'd love to have you on here.
Again, we are total noobs at this, and we make shit up as we go along, and we are kind of a shit show here, but that would be very fun. Like with Mary's,
we'd love to get your side of the story.
Yeah, with Mary's interview, that wasn't even an interview. That was just like, hey, I want to come over and connect. And so she did, and we connected. And yeah, it was just more like, hey, let's just have a chat on a live. I got a lot of criticism because I don't have very good interview skills. I'm like, okay, well, I have great chatting skills, and we had a great chat conversation. So
she does. She's always talking. In a good way.
I don't know. I felt like there was a little bit of backpedal, boy, backpedal. So, yeah. I think it's funny. So yeah, it would not be any sort of interview style at all. It would just be more of a conversation. Because honestly, after Mary's thing, I started watching YouTube videos on how to do good interviews, but the formality of all of that is just not something. Like, we love to just connect with people. I want people to feel heard and listened to, and like we're just good old friends, instead of feeling like they're being grilled or gotcha questions, because I hate gotcha questions. So So yeah,
Oh, thanks, guys.
I loved that conversation with Mary. It was fun. Okay, so we might be wrapping up here. We've been going for 2 hours and 10 minutes, if you can believe that.
Dang, yeah.
I know. And so I want to get our 27 rules
Thank you,
of
guys.
polygamy up. Oh, thank you. Watching Melanie and Mary was amazing. Love how you
Yep.
ladies bounced memories off each other. Yeah, that was fun. I mean, and honestly, we'll probably do it again. That's what I told her. Please come over and let's watch an episode together and dissect it as we watch it, which I would just, oh my God, I would laugh my head off so hard if we actually did that.
What we should do is get out your first marriage video and have you and Mary dissect that, because you're both in that one. That would be funny.
And have her be, because she does
Yeah.
not remember doing that,
doesn't
which is
remember being
funny.
there.
Oh, I appreciate that. Tanya Johnson says, I'm sorry if it's Tanya or Tanya. Your Mary interview is wonderful, real and honest. Ignore the haters. Yeah, because honestly, so many people have picked apart that interview, and not in a bad way. They've just picked it apart and then thrown it up on their own channels to make
That's
money
a good
off of
way.
it, which is funny. I'm like, that's fine. Just tell people to come back to our channel. That's totally fine. But yeah, with Mary, there was no there was nothing. It was just, hey, let's go. Because I told, she goes, what are you doing today? And I'm like, well, we usually try to go live if we can. And she's like, great, I'll come over and let's go live together. And I'm like, okay, sure. If that's what you want to do, let's do it. And so she got here and we chit chatted for about 45 minutes trying to catch up a little bit because we hadn't seen each other in years.
Yeah.
And then we went live and we had no idea where we were going to go and talk about, but there's more specific questions I'd like to ask her. And we did talk about some things offline that I don't want to do. I don't want to put her in a position where she has to say negative things about anyone in her family. But yeah, that was fun. It was fun. But that's when I realized my dry mouth is probably more of a trauma response than anything else, because the minute I saw her car pull up, I was like, bleh. So what are you laughing at?
No, just thanks to So Blessed Canadian. So yeah.
Oh, where?
Those of you who have left and are speaking out, finding each other and sharing your healing journey is so inspiring. Yep. It's breaking generational traumas. And I'm totally here for the shit show.
Yeah,
so
thank you.
I appreciate that. Yeah, it really is. I've been really appreciative that a lot of people that I grew up with have reached out and we've had conversations. And
yeah, we just went to lunch with an old friend yesterday that we hadn't seen in years, or not yesterday, just a couple days ago. And that was so fun reconnecting because they've been watching. They've been watching our show too. And yeah, I'm
filling in some timelines where we grew up in Pinesdale and stuff like that. So yeah, it was great talking with him. So yeah, and comparing notes, because there's he's the same age as I am, and we really don't know anybody in our age group. There's a few that are still probably within the AUB that are second wives and stuff like that, or wives, but all of the males in our age group are gone from the AUB. Not one of us really are part of it or believe in it or anything like that anymore.
Yeah.
So.
And that's what I mean, I definitely, one of the things I was talking about with Luann Cooper, she's the one who did she has Hope After Polygamy, and they're an organization that helps do scholarships for people so they can go to school after they've left. That's the organization that's given out over $100,000 in scholarships. Mm-hmm. That was one of the things I said to her. I'm like, I'm never going to do the gotcha questions. I'm not going to. I want people to come. I don't want people to feel exploited on our channel. I want them to be able to come and tell their story and talk about things and know that we came from the same experience, and their experience might be a little different than what I experienced, but we came from very similar backgrounds. And so I want people to feel appreciated and loved on our channel, not exploited on our channel. Yep. Sunflower, thank you so much for that super chat. I really appreciate it. Wait, I missed this one. My only critic of your channel is when Corey says that something resonates with him. There is no G in it. Oh, it's resonates. He does do that. And I make so much fun of him too. There is no G in resonates. It's just resonates.
Yeah.
I know. I love it. It's our definite homeschool. That's for
it's
sure.
my Montana slur.
Yeah, Montana definitely has a
Yeah,
slur.
we do have a slur from up there.
Yep. And or you do especially. That's another one you do. There is no X in it, especially. And I tell them that all the time. Babe, there's no X in that word. So I definitely note, especially, it's especially. But again, we're just little hicks from small little
Yeah,
towns.
I have to learn that. See, I have to always be working on my vocabulary. So
Our pronunciation.
mhm.
Love your conversational style. I like your interview with Mary. I felt like I saw the real Mary on the show, and I feel she's on the show. I feel she's more guarded.
Yeah.
And I agree with that. I feel like she's definitely is just like, hey, let's just chit chat. And that's how I want people to feel. I want them to feel comfortable. And again, we're brand new at this. Like with Celia the other day when we did that with her. Well, we did it with Tony and McKelty, but we sent them a link and then we recorded that way. But the one that we did with Celia, clearly we messed that up because it went live and we had no idea we were live until it was over. And I was like, wait, what? And so I instantly privated that video. So all of you that caught that sneak peek, lucky you, but the rest of you will catch it here on Thursday. So, all right, I think we're going to wrap up here because it's getting to be about 85 degrees in this room right now. It's we're having the most crazy weather in Utah, and we're supposed to hit the 80s this weekend, which is absolutely insane. Oh, we're going to have grandbabies this weekend too, because they'll be out celebrating my son's birthday. And yeah, we're going to spend the whole time outside, I think, because it's just so beautiful. That random little old lady, since Corey, I always want to spell of as LOVE. That's so hilarious. That was one of the funniest stories I think he's ever told me. But I mean, it made the kid pack around a dictionary and a thesaurus forever.
Yeah.
So
my family still encourages me to spell it different. So.
So yeah, thank you everyone for joining us tonight. We really appreciate it. Watch for the 27 laws of polygamy or 27 rules that will be coming out probably in the next hour or so. We'll drop that video.
Not of polygamy, of
celestial marriage. Why do I keep saying that? 27 rules of celestial marriage. Part 2 will be dropping in about an hour, however long it takes for YouTube to upload it. And we'll be dropping that, and we'll be dropping Celia's interview on Thursday. And then we'll be dropping the rest of the 27 rules of celestial marriage probably by Friday. We might try to go live again on Friday if we can. We'll see, because we'll have the grandbabies. So we'll see if we can make that happen. But if not, it was so great to catch up with everyone. Thank you all for being so respectful in our comments. We really appreciate that. And